Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Kain Gamer here once again with a new Let's Play, and this time let's play Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 2, the sequel to the Legacy of Kain series, developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Eidos Interactive in 2001 for the PlayStation 2 and later for the PC. And Soul Reaver 2 takes place right after the events of Soul Reaver 1, and Soul Reaver 2 is very interesting. Although Soul Reaver 1 is my personal favorite in the series, Soul Reaver 2 is very special because the past events in Soul Reaver 1 and other games of the Legacy of Kain series, Blood Omen 1 and 2, their events also play part in Soul Reaver 2, or their events start to unfold in Soul Reaver 2, and the overall plot starts to unravel in Soul Reaver 2. So it's a very interesting story. Now the demo started to play, since I didn't. But anyway, as I was trying to say that. Oh. No, let's start the game.
I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? And as such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I found the tomb of Sarafan, Kain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer. Who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nosgoth from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are opened, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic? Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours. You nearly had me, Raziel. But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny.
as I was saying as the intro start, that Soul Reaver 2 is very story driven as it culminates all the events that have happened prior and start to unravel the lore and the universe of Nosgoth.
Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands.
This is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
You two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
How is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Sarafan Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
Fortunately, you need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Sarafan priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Sarafan have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Sarafan with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the Circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow Guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The Circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then, but consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me, Raziel. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. but you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Sarafan heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how? I have not yet discovered.
Alright, now the game starts. Now let's get familiar with the controls. Now you can actually move the camera freely, at least to left and right, but you can't move up and down. And now let's leave the Sarafan fortress. Ah. Well, combat is really simple, but it gets the job done. Yep. I do wonder, once again, how did you save in this game? The Dark Chronicle, I think it just the cutscenes. Just wanna check. Okay, so there's no volume or subtitle menu. I wonder, can I throw? Someone's in here. How do you drop the weapon? Do I?
Throughout the stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
I wonder if enemies respawn in this. Wondering if there was more to explore. Just quickly check. No, at least didn't. There's nothing else. Wonder if there was a second door. Okay, nothing. Let's go back. I do wonder how you drop the weapon. Ah, so that's how you need to crawl. A bit odd. Just wanna... Can't use the Soul Reaver yet. And I don't think you can throw your weapon, unlike you could in Soul Reaver 1. Check around. It could be that I need to once again use Raziel's power to enter the other world and pass through the gate. Don't see anything else in here. Yes, it seems so. Maybe the game even hints that you need to do that. No, it does not. Oh, so you can actually view the map. Yes, and Raziel has maintained most of, if not, well, most of his abilities. There are some that you cannot use.
Away from the influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. Why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
No, you can't shoot with the Reaver.
Seize him.
as always, you need to be in full health to use the Reaver. Guards. And the Reaver upbreaks enemies instantly.
Here it comes.
Even get full health. A lot of guards. Oh! There's sometimes a little bit of a delay when trying to do punches. Man, there's a lot of guards in this hallway. Oh, you can actually do it. But you do wish that maybe the combat could be a little bit more, well, complex.
As I neared the stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuary's furthest chapel. As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step. So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the martyr and catalyst of Mobius's crusade. I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement, the Soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me, became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused, and for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. The Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control.
What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you, Kain laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless, yet eager to prove my good intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphim in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting for me.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest, murdered, profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his mercy, you are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
Okay, so... and now we have actually lost some of our powers.
So this was the legendary Eidos Interactive, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villagers below. His reign of terror ended when the Seraphim finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness, and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampyric unlife. The Seraphim therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Eidos Interactive truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Seraphim, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Yes, a lot of information. I do wonder, how do you save the game? I definitely would like to save the game and maybe cut the video. Once again, lost a little bit of track of time. I think these... These need to be lit by using the Reaver, because we are definitely gonna return here later on. That if there's a save room, or did the game auto-save? So let's continue on, at least a little bit further. Reading what said. I think it was how to summon the Reaver automatically. Well, I'll figure it out later.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and myself. All of us martyred here, and then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his gift on our noble corpses. For the first time, I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become, and a profound sense of injury, of loss and betrayal welled up in me, so overwhelming I could barely contain it. All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Didn't mean to do that, but well, that also worked. Yes, I can't go through here. And that's the meter that shows that the Soul Reaver is overcharging. It becomes more powerful, but like the Raziel said, if overused, it will then turn against him and drain health from him. Okay, nothing else can be done. Now, which door opened? And I would really wish that the... Yeah. Was it? In here. A little bit further. I would like to find a safe point.
first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory, the land overflowed with abundant life and vitality. And I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only deepened my resolve. I sensed that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
And I think we can... Yes. We can swim. Raziel still has the ability to swim and withstand water. And there was a door over there. How did you jump out of the water? Ah, so that's how you did that.
I did not yet possess the means to unlock this barrier, but this enigmatic symbol was clearly the key.
Well, thanks for telling me that, Raziel.
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of the Reaver's energy was drawn into the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
So these kind of work as a checkpoint. Now let's... Still, I could use a save point. Maybe I'll find one once I completely leave the Sarafan stronghold. What is a bit murky? Can be a bit difficult to see once again. I think that crystal is probably the same.
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul, and thus create a milestone to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
Yes, these are the save points. Okay, so. Oh, I don't wonder if there's actually, gotta test it, is there extra slots that I can save, because definitely if there's something crashes or when I do Let's Play, it would be very devastating only having a one save slot. But I'm gonna test it off the record. So, I'm gonna cut the video here now. So, I'm Kain Gamer, and this has been Let's Play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 2, and if you enjoyed these types of Let's Plays, give it a thumbs up, feedback, subscribe, ring the bell for notification and all that, and join me again as we go and meet Kain and see what he has to say. And definitely the plot even more unravels. But that'll be the next video. Until then, as always, I'll see you when I see you. Later.